There are times when you just need to get dinner on the table quickly and deliciously. And this is a recipe for one of those times. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. I'm sharing a favorite, super easy recipe that's great on pasta, rice, vegetables, meat, fish, tofu, just about anything you can think of. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by MantisMarine.com, maker of the Mantis Anchor, now available in models with and without a roll bar. Proven to set reliably in the most challenging bottoms, the Mantis Anchor digs like no other, making anchoring safer and boating more enjoyable. Mantis Marine brings to market practical, durable, and affordable marine products, including anchoring gear, scuba diving accessories, and a rechargeable waterproof headlamp for hands-free lighting. Visit MantisMarine.com and see for yourself. Sometimes dinner needs to go on the table super fast, and you're tired of spaghetti, you're tired of making something else up. You've got some veggies that need to be used, maybe you have some noodles, maybe you've got a piece of meat, maybe you've got I don't know what. And you also might have a jar of peanut butter. You might have a jar of tahini. You might have a jar of some other kind of nut butter or non-nut butter. This sauce, it's a peanut sesame sauce, is so delicious and satisfying in every single way. I often will mix it with pasta. It makes a great stretchable dinner that if you put it onto a platter is also completely gorgeous to look at. It's also really good hot, cold, or in between, which is super helpful when you have, I don't know, maybe people coming for dinner. Maybe you want to have an easy lunch leftover. I don't know. But this recipe is so easy and involves things that we, anyway, have on hand all the time. It's peanut butter. It's soy sauce. It's ginger, garlic, red wine vinegar, sesame oil, and pepper flakes. And you can use this sauce really on anything. Here's a hint about the ginger. Side note, what I do to store ginger, because I haven't had any luck just keeping it. I think the humidity on the boat is a little too much. But what I'll do is I get a whole bunch of fresh ginger and I clean it. I scrub it so there's no dirt on it. And I chop it up and I keep it in a jar with vodka. You don't have to refrigerate it. And it keeps the ginger fresh for a really, really, really long time. So that's how I always have fresh ginger on the boat. I guess it's not technically fresh if it's been sort of pickled in vodka, but there you go. That's my trick for ginger. But what I'll do is I'll take a half a cup of creamy peanut butter, a quarter of a cup of soy sauce, a half a cup of warm water, a chunk of fresh ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic that you've pressed, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes if you like the spicy. And in my little blender, I don't actually have a blender. I've got one of those Boat Motors immersion blenders, but it also comes with a food processor bowl. I can do it right in that or else in the jar with the immersion blender. And you put all those ingredients together and you whir it up until it's smooth. That's it. That's as simple as this sauce is. You don't have to heat it up. There's no cooking involved. There's no nothing. It's just put these ingredients together in a blender of some sort, buzz it up, and away you go. I think you probably could make this if you didn't have a blender. If all you had was a knife and a cutting board, but you'd be spending quite a lot of time chopping up that ginger. Maybe you could grate it. Maybe you could grate the garlic instead and mix it all together with a whisk. And that would be a great way to make that work as well. But if you have a blender or an immersion blender or a little food processor on board, this is really a perfect recipe for using that particular thing. As I said, I love this on top of pasta. I love it drizzled on top of grilled fish. I love it with rice. If you're doing it with pasta, in order to make it this gorgeous, beautiful presentation, you cook, this is enough sauce for 1 whole pound of pasta. So I'll cook the pasta, toss it with the sauce, and it will look like there's a lot of sauce, but it's not. It's just the right amount, and it just, the hot pasta absorbs it as it goes. And then I'll put that pasta on a platter of some sort. And then with colored peppers, scallions, asparagus, maybe some cilantro, maybe some chicken breast, maybe some pieces of tofu or fish or other vegetables. You could probably do cabbage. You could do carrots. Tomatoes wouldn't work very well. It just doesn't really fit with a peanut thing. At least I don't think so. And I love tomatoes, but I wouldn't do that on this. But if you make these bright colors that are there and you layer it, you can do stripes, you can just scatter them on top, put some sesame seeds on top of the whole thing. It's this beautiful, brightly colored, brightly textured, gorgeously flavored dinner, lunch, probably not an appetizer. If you took this to a potluck, it would disappear in 5 seconds flat, but I'd rather hold on to it and share it just with the people that I love. Sometimes it's really fun to have sauce recipes like this that are easy, fast, and endlessly versatile in terms of what you can use them on. This is one of my favorites. I can't wait to share an Anchorage with you, and maybe, just maybe, we'll eat this for dinner. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you share us with your friends. We love it when, if you're at the Annapolis Boat Show, you pop by and say hello to us at the Boat Galley booth, or come and see me and Carolyn at Cruisers University, where we're both teaching. Have the most fantastic week.